Licky, licky. Licky, licky. Licky, licky. Licky, licky. Dum, dum. You know you like that hook right there. You sing it in your body right now. Licky, licky. Dum, dum. Licky, licky. You sound like an opera singer going.
Okay, we're rolling.
That's what I would do. Let me take that. AP, take this, please. Please take this phone. All right. So you roll. So are we running live?
What up, man? Tomorrow's here with the mogul, the boss, Dan Jazz Studios. First of all, what's poppin', man?
Everything is everything.
Everything. Yeah. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of, first of all, you know, he was one of the first people to make me sit up straight in class, pay attention. A lot of artists going out, you know, doing things, and you know, we're always impressed by that. But how did it get there? Who made it happen? Those are the things that I pay attention to. And, you know, so I just want to say it was an honor to be here. Thank you. Rocking out with you. So yeah, just, I mean, one of the things that's super dope that I love is this. Dame Dash Studios. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Like how that,
You know, like for the last 10 years, maybe like, I would say since 2005, you know, I've just been opening up art galleries all around the world, starting in New York, DD172. And DD172 was an art gallery, but it was more focused on like music. There was a lot of music going on. And a lot of things happened there. And then, you know, we went on to Poppington and the Lower East Side, and that was more about fashion. So coming to LA, this gallery was focused on making content. So, you know, I like to be able to do things when I want to at a professional level. It doesn't ever make sense to outsource to me. I don't like being a customer. So I just bought everything and have a space that whenever I'm inspired, I can record and provide at a professional level. But also have a television network and a streaming service. And we make documentaries, we make rockumentaries, we make scripted, we make movies. You know, we have scripted television shows. You know, and has a point of view. You know, what's a message? And it's like, this is where I can create whatever's in my mind and whatever's inspiring me and turn it into a tangible thing that I can sell.
yeah. This is really dope. I mean, first of all, to be able to do what you want, when you want, and catch those moments, because that's really important for authenticity, which is something that has been coming through.
You can't contrive the vibe, ever. You can't recreate the actual vibe. It's almost impossible. So you always want to be able to capture it in its moment and the essence of it.
Yeah.
You know, I hate fake. I hate scripted. You know, like, I understand movies, but when people are pretending to be real and they're like doctoring what they say or thinking about the conversations of the acting, you know, so it's honest.
Yeah. Is this something that is something you wanted to do?
Yeah, I've been having like, you know, I was doing streaming services when Netflix was still like, you know, selling DVDs in supermarkets.
Talk about it.
I was just waiting for the world to catch up. But that's what I do a lot. I wait for the world to catch up, and it's hard for me to play with anybody because, you know, I just don't feel like I want to play by the games and the rules that most do, that the masses do, because those games and those rules are meant to control you, and I'm about freedom.
Which brings us to the Black Guns.
Yeah.
Super dope. And a form of expression.
100.
You know,
Form of therapy for me.
form of therapy. Yeah, talk about that, man. You made a song which is so crazy because it's so relevant. Not just today, but just what happens in the industry, period. You know.
Well, fuck you, baby.
Right, basically.
Yeah. You know, because when they be like, you up a robbery, you gotta be like, nah, you gonna pay me. With that much unapologeticness. Yeah. People will try to rob you if you let them. And they do a lot of bluffing, making people think that they're tougher than they are when they are not. Sometimes when you're not about that action and you step into the wrong realm, you will get exposed. So you should watch who you fight. Because you might come across a real one.
Which speaks to their authenticity, you know. Man, talk about that. NFTs have become like a recent wave, and for whatever reason, you know, this has been a conversation that you've been involved with this your percentage of Rockefeller Records. Whether I mean you could just tell us about, you know, your perspective on how that came up and why.
I mean, you know, I feel like my actions are gonna speak way louder than my words. But no one's gonna rob me. No one's gonna pretend I'm doing something I'm not doing. No one's gonna call me a thief when I'm not. No one's gonna pretend they're the CEO of a company when I'm the CEO of the company, always will be, never step there. And no one's gonna stop me from making my money, even though it might hurt their feelings to see me get money. And that's really all I can say about that. But I ain't gonna just talk about it. We're in front of the court, we're in front of a judge now. So you can read about it, you know, but the fuckery gotta stop. And you know, culturally, us accusing each other of things we're not doing to make each other look good or look bad, that's the type of shit that ruins us. To empower another man from another culture, to speak to your culture in a way about a company that you own, it's just not good business for the culture. And at another level, why is a billionaire supposedly suing someone that's supposed to be broke? None of that shit adds up. But that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Can you bring my drink, please? Thank you, I'm sorry.
Your love for fashion.
Yeah.
You've always you know, shown up in a big way when it comes to fashion.
Yeah, I like being fresh. And I honestly don't think anyone's fresher than me. You know? I don't do everything everyone else does because I don't want to. I don't have to. I'm not vain. I just like to be Christian. But because no one can make what I want, I just tend to make it myself. And, you know, I like the fact that the things I was doing when I was 20 and 30, that people were sometimes laughing at is everything the young kids are doing now. Right. On a lot of levels. Right. From the basketball shorts, sides, a lot of things. But if you look back at the old picture, you look at the receipts, you think, I was wearing the basketball shorts and nobody else was. The socks was longer. You know? I had the gazelles on, and the Russian hats, and the ski hats. But everybody was telling me I was bugging. They was laughing at me, calling me Urkel and all that. But the young kids get it. That's what I like. The young kids, they know what about what was fresh back in the day, and they are implementing it now, and everything that they're implementing, and I love that. But having the ability to make it and manufacture it is an art within itself. So it's like, you know, me, basically, except for the sneakers, everything I got on, I make. Because I tailor-make my socks. My basketball shorts are tailor-made. My shirt is tailor-made, catered to me. My son, my baby, his socks are tailor-made. My towels are tailor-made. My suits are tailor-made. You know, I just don't think anyone can do it better. And sometimes it really will break my heart to put another man's name on my body. Not sometimes, all the time. Like, you know, I ran into Ralph Lauren one day and had a purple label suit on and was like, that's never gonna happen again. It hurt. It hurt me to my soul.
Purple label suit.
You know, because I know I'm the coolest thing in the party and the freshest. How am I think I'm the freshest? Like, if some kid walked in thinking he's fresh to me wearing my name, I'd be like, bro, I made you fresh. Sit down. And he could do that. He could have stunned it on me, but he didn't. But I stunned it on myself and it was like, nah, I can't even picture that ever happening again. I got a bunch of big purple label suits that never got worn again. It's just hilarious.
What do you say to the younger generation that wants to do what you're doing as far as, you know, fashion lines, creating things themselves, their own connections?
You know, for me, I don't really have any expectation of people wanting to be the conqueror that I am. Like, I'm about that action. I like war. I am a disruptor. Like, I'm an industry conqueror. When I come in the industry, I change it completely. You know what I mean? I change the trajectory of that industry forever. I did it in music. I did it in fashion. I'm doing it now with content. That's a fight. Even with NFTs. I'm not trying to come through regular. I'm coming through trying to fight what you consider the man, which is what art is, which is what an NFT is supposed to be an outlet to. I'm making a statement. I'm about to do something that's going to disrupt the industry. No one ever sold a piece of a company with an NFT. You understand what I'm saying? Niggas accuse me of minting something. If I meant to be on the blockchain already, I did not mint anything. But I'm still disrupting. I'm making sure that everybody now that wasn't talking about NFTs is like, because only 91%, only 9% of the world even knows about this. So now I'm gonna make sure my coaches don't miss it by making an example out of somebody. And I can't believe who it is. But when I come in the industry, I'll be like, who is it that's I'm gonna catch a record on? So they know this is my block right now. I can't believe who it turns out to be. But so be it. If I got to conquer this industry by using you as an example of what I'm about, what life I'm about, win or lose in the court, I'm going to win. Because I'm going to fight for what I believe in and the truth. So that's the way I approach everything. I don't know if everybody wants to do that. You see, I come in calling niggas out. And not my own culture. I call them out, the oppressor. Where they program us to fight each other. Where I be like, nah, I'm bombing on them. And then my own culture be trying to ice me out because they're like, yo, you messing with masses. Nah, nigga. We master. And that's what we have to understand. Once you know your self-worth and you find your dream, it was just something you would do it so much because you love it that you're the best at it. And it never feels like work. And then you figure out how to package that shit, distribute it to the masses and get that money. But don't think it's going to be easy. It's about grinding. And it's about protecting your territory. Or because this is a real game. You know, like, really play dirty as y'all see. Like, niggas play stink dirty. They'll lie in your name, call you thief and all that just to fuck your money up. People that you grew up with. Now think about that. That's the real world. That's the big leagues. For this money. Where I am. And also it's hard to play with cheaters when you play fair. So then that means you just gotta be real good, real right about what you do. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, not everybody's about that life, but don't fit in, don't try to be like anybody else. You don't want to become atmosphere. How do you stand out if you being like everybody else? Nigga, if you don't make the rules, you gotta abide by them. Nigga, you make the rules. But make some good films.
Hard to fight when you playing fair. Man. that's a big one. That's a big one. And, you know, I'm gonna say for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm a student. I'm learning. And that's huge.
That's why I'm very transparent. Yeah. That's why I like a public fight. I want everybody to learn from what's going on. Yeah. But I ain't gonna say to do something I'm not doing myself.
Yeah. The pop-ups and clothing that you just spoke about, you know, when you are about to make your own clothing, because like you said, it needs to be what you want. When you're about to actually make that, what standards do you put on yourself? What is it that when you get ready to make it, how do you want to see it? How do you want to position it?
It's the way I'm gonna wear it. I just make what I want to wear, like this. You want a plain black white tee, with the DD, the fresh guy truck with the socks, got my dog with me,
Yeah.
So I was gonna make that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm gonna make that, and it's based on real shit. It's based on my dog, who plays fetch. Any second that you want, he's the fetch guy.
Right.
So it's really about stuff.
Yeah.
It's about my point of view. Like, nobody gonna make nothing about my dog but me. I love my dog.
I was watching the interview, and you mentioned that, ladies, well, it wasn't an interview, it was actually your release interview, or opening or something. And you mentioned that you got ladies running pretty much everything you do. Talk about that, like the importance of that, and your perspective on it.
Well, on a logical level, thinking, man, so like, what's God? You think about that a lot.
Yeah.
You know what you're told God is, you can't believe what you're told, especially because it was telling it to you. And I'm like, God is the creator of life. Correct?
Okay.
And the only thing I know that creates life on this planet is a woman. A woman has to be God. And you look at what a woman's job is to do, is to create life, raise life, but without the physical muscle, because of testosterone, go nuts. They have to do it with their brain and their emotion. So I could see how someone could have tried to take that narrative physically. But, generally speaking, men are insecure, and men hate to see another man win. They're competitive by nature. I just don't trust men. They're not happy when you win. But they're so mad that, their girlfriend likes you. They really hate to see you win because it jeopardizes so major their existence. Makes them very insecure. And then they start doing a lot of bump shit. And no one has time to be playing chess with a dude and spending that much time thinking about a dude. I'm going to spend that time worrying about anything. It's going to be a woman. I enjoy it way better. So, I like the environment better. I like the vibe better. And I feel safe.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's working. Well,
dudes generally are stupid. I do a lot of stupid shit, as you see. Like, when you be thinking, like, why would they do that? Like, because they're a dude. Just because of this very reason. You can help a nigga, put a nigga on everything, fight for his family, and they still gonna be mad when you get money.
Do you feel like it's about the money?
I don't even want to think about what another nigga's thinking. I'm tired. That shit makes me feel fucking like, what is this dude thinking? I'm worried about what my girl's thinking. That's it. Really, I'm dead ass. I wish I could was telling you something different, but to even be thinking and talking too much about a nigga, to me makes me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? If I gotta deal with it, I gotta deal with it. But if I don't, I ain't thinking about no dudes, man. I ain't got no time. My real estate in my brain is I enjoy it. And it definitely ain't no niggas. No dudes.
The art galleries.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been opening up art galleries for years. I wanted to actually bring the culture of art to our culture.
Yeah.
And when you bring artists together, so many things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like you get somebody that does music with someone that paints, with someone that makes movies, and you've created something very interesting.
Oh, fine. I'm crazy.
A vibe,
Yeah.
which can be captured so many ways. In 360 kind of a way, actually.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, the art gallery, the actual art, it's another form of expression. And I personally am intrigued by it, inspired by it. And so, that was definitely one of the things that, I was just inspired by you, by the things that you've been able to accomplish. And opening those art galleries and moving in that lane like that, super dope. And like I said, when you're talking about empowering, our culture, I think leading by example is a huge deal, And someone that does this, there's more than one lane that you can go in, to accomplish those things, to accomplish your goals, to be successful.
Yeah, I think that's been my job, to lead by example, which is why it makes sense that I've approached everything in this way and dealt with all the adversity and struggles that come from being independent and being inspired by a lot of different things. But it's Rockstar shit, it's gangster.
Billy Pablo,
Pop star.
Billy Pablo. How is that going?
Loving it. Billy Pablo III comes out whenever he feels like it, and when he feels like it, he shows you what real rock starring is.
Yeah.
Some real punk rock shit. Unapologetic, free, having mad fun, taking some gangsters, punch you in your chest, rock and roll. Rock and roll, the misconception is that it's there. It's aggressive blues. You know what I mean? And my OGs are like Taj Mahal and, real that stood up for something when it wasn't really so fashionable and you weren't so protected, when it wasn't the internet, when it camera.
Right.
So I just feel like there's a torch I must carry. As Billy Pablo III, I get to be a creative, I get to be an artist, I get to rock out, do a show, and I'm not hiding behind nobody, I'm in front of the stage. I got something to say, and I'm saying it, and also it's therapy. But I do think the world needs to see what a real rock star looks like. A real rock star never sells his nuts, ever. That's when you're a pop star. Not the disrespect pop star, but I'm just not doing it. No one's writing my shit.
Yes,
there ain't no dancing around.
Yeah.
It's all about the instruments. I ain't trying to fit in. I'm not trying to give you a perfect friend, which is evil. Nobody's perfect. Happens. So why give a f?
Love it. Yeah. So necessary. So and so now we have DTV.
Yeah, 24 hours of original programming. And we're not, I'm gonna say 24 hours of original deprogramming.
Okay.
Because the programming that's been presented to us has only been presented to us to control us and make us think something is good when it's bad. Something's bad when it's good.
Good, right.
So it's really, I have a boutique network, a boutique streaming service. And in that way, I get to really, really hammer down on my message, which is self-empowerment, evolution, and dealing with the things that I think need to be changed. Not talking about it, really doing it. So that's why we put the commission together, OSG, which is 90 Black Principles. And we have the commission with Senator Eddie Milton, Congressman R.J. Carson, and Bishop Purnell, Dr. Purnell, Todd, therapist, and Melanie, therapist, do it all. And all we do is deal with certain things like prison reform and health and economic empowerment, teaching us how to pass laws, how to lobby, education, you know, new curriculums that need to be implemented, the things they're not teaching us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The history of religion, which is where racism starts from the day you're born. Yeah, with all those things. So, you know, if we're gonna make some money on something, let's make some money off involving each other, helping each other, showcasing what real wealth is, which is health and love.
Pushing forward, do you think it's a form of therapy, or do you think our culture could benefit from such therapy?
All of us, being black, is you get a lot of unrecognized trauma. Our normal in this you have to deal with is not everyone else's norm. But we think it is, and it really fucks with the trajectory of the way we deal with things in the future. You know? So having to be worried about the police, calling, you know, God, or a European interpretation of the name, thinking God is white, which is put in your face, thinking you're supposed to have a 9 to 5, you know, thinking that you're number 2, when actually we're number 1. Yeah, it's traumatizing. Survival, you know, having to see your friends get shot, or people in general, and go to, like, I remember seeing kids get shot, go to school, no way asking if I'm alright. But I didn't think I needed it, I didn't think it was a problem, but to this day, that shit still affects me. So therapy is very important for our culture. But the study of therapy, because black people don't get therapy, comes from white people. So when we get the fucking therapy, we still get the wrong therapy. We gotta deal with that shit too. So yeah, instead of talking about that, man, I'm about fixing it. And ain't nobody gonna fix the culture for us. It behooves them not to, because they'll always be able to control us, to divide us, to oppress us, put us in a mental jail, and we don't even know it.
Man. Well, yeah. The Dash Studios, DTV, I mean, you know, taking control and being able to support and evolve our culture, each other, you know, they salute on that. So necessary, you know, and if nobody else did it, I'm saying it. You know, I appreciate it and I grew from it, which is crazy important. And thank Dash, you know, it was an honor. It's always going to be an honor, man. And man, now check out DTV. Go plan.
Appreciate it. Thank you, bro.
Absolutely.
If you want another amazing video with the one and only Dame Dash, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.